What is up, everyone? Please take a second to hit that like button. The more likes that we get in a short period of time, the more people the algorithm will bring into the chat to come hang out with us and see what's going on. So please hit that like button and let me know how you're doing. Thank you so much, Mercy Rain, for continuing on with the membership program. You're officially a hooligan. What's up, Buck Fiden? What's up, Wicked Patriot? What's up, Katie? Thank you so much, The Real Zooch, for your donation and your support. I really appreciate it. So I just want to remind you guys, I will have to cut it short today. I have that tattoo appointment. So probably around 11 o'clock Eastern time. We'll be shutting it down, and then as soon as I get back to the house, we'll go live with the last hour, or how much ever is left of the trial today. Thank you so much, Mercy Rain. I really appreciate the donation and the support. What's up, Shake and Bake? What's up, Stan? What's up, Deanna? What's up, LaDonna? What's up, TYR? What's up, Fire? What's up, Ink Scars? What's up, Stacy? And what's up, Jet? Good morning, you hooligans. What's up, Karaticus? Good morning, Sherry. What's up, Deputy Dog? Well, thanks for being here, Reelect. I appreciate you. What's up, Hooplehead? Oh, what just happened?
At her request. I think that's what she's asking.
What's up, Jesse? Thank you so much, Wicked Patriot. I really appreciate the donation and the support. You guys are so awesome.
Right. Number 20.
What's up, Quitting Time?
At her request, based upon her
What's up, Ann?
medical situation.
What you guys should do is you should go to like Yahoo Finance or something like that while I'm getting my tattoo done, and tell all of them to come over to this chat if they're pro Kyle.
But it's one I would.
We can get some new viewers over here.
Does anyone disagree with that?
See the truth without a bunch of assholes in the chat, bunch of scared people.
For today.
Well, I just filed sample and put
Oh,
your note.
okay, all right. So, would you ask the juror number? What was it? 27. 27 to come down, please.
LaDonna, you're funny. What's up, John Doe? What's up, Bill? What's up, everyone on Twitch? Hopefully I see Indigo today. I don't know what happened last night. I woke up, had a billion messages from Discord. What's up, everyone on Odyssey? And what's up, everyone on Rumble? And what's up, everyone on Facebook? What's up, Bill? Right now, it seems like the defense as well as the prosecutor are just making a case for self-defense. The prosecutor couldn't prove anything to save his life. He's whack.
Came at noon, but I was able to get my hair cut anyway. But yeah, I don't know. And that last low on my list of things that I care about. Is there a big issue?
It's just when we try and time our witnesses,
Yeah.
we generally don't think we're going to have a 12-1 break.
You got it. I agree with you. Well, it's Subway, so presumably it'll keep. I hope it does. What?
What's up, Serum? What's up, Jersey Devil? What's up, Jacob?
You can have.
Sherry, you'd have to look it up. I can't remember the judge's name. He seems to be a good guy, though. He's a little talkative, but he seems to be fair.
And bless you and good luck. Okay, I hope you're feeling great. Thanks. Anything else before we start?
Your Honor, I've heard from other folks that there was some issue with your mic yesterday being broadcast.
Yeah,
I don't know if you're aware of that or not.
I was made aware of it, and I spoke to Court TV about it, and I gather it was typical judge commentary about the pace at which the questioning was proceeding.
Honestly, I don't even know. I just want to make
Oh, they're talking about the hot mic yesterday.
And from what I heard, I commented on the length of the examination. That was it. Okay. Anything else? Okay, let's get the jurors down.
Yeah, FBC. I see the same thing. After I'm not live, I'll check the comments on other lives and stuff, and I see a lot of people referring to Kyle as a murderer and stuff like that. And I don't know. Their brain don't work. You know, God forbid that they get thrown down in the middle of the street, get kicked in the face, get hit with a damn skateboard, have someone discharge a hand pew in their presence. You know, like what are they gonna do? Just die? They just go lay there and take it? Like, it sounds so stupid. I hate when people say that. Like, there's better cases to be on the wrong side of than this. You got to be a professional victim to think that you're going to be in that position and you're not going to defend yourself. What's up, Glock Compatible? Yeah. And from what the judge just said, saying that he made a comment on how lengthy the interview was, or whatever, however he referred to talking to the witness, it's another shot at the prosecutor because the prosecutor sucks. Exactly, Mercury Girl. What's up, Newton? What's up, both Newtons? Appreciate you guys being here. What's up, Parabellum? What's up, Lisa? Thanks for stopping in. Hope you have a good day at work. Space Pirate. You think the judge ain't wasting no time, huh? He already got some concoction put together. Could be. We should get the poll started because it's going to be such a short day. I mean, I don't even know. Probably maybe an hour before I gotta go. So what are we gonna do the poll about?
Good morning, everyone. Welcome. And number 27 was experiencing some mild discomfort. She's pregnant and requested to be dismissed, and I have granted that request with the consent of the attorneys. So there's 18 of us, and I don't want to hear any sniffles or sneezing. Okay, let's begin. And Mr. Binger?
Thank you, Your Honor. The state calls Jason Lakowski to the witness stand.
I appreciate you being here, Liam. What's up, Clover Bear? What's up, Bailey? What's up, All Rise? What's up, Cindy?
Some sort of testimony about to give this matter to the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God.
Glock Compatible, there was another juror dismissed. I guess I was talking when they said that.
Could you please pull that microphone close to your mouth And state your name for the record, spelling your last name.
Jason Legowski, Lackowski.
What community do you currently reside in?
Green Bay,
In August of 2020, where did you reside? What community?
Brown Deer.
What is your current occupation?
I'm going to school full time.
You go to school full-time?
Mhm.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
Do you have a background in the military?
Yes, sir.
Can you tell us about that?
I was a Marine Corps infantryman, 0311 rifleman.
It's hard for the court reporter to follow that. If you could slow down and say that again, please.
Sorry. United States Marine Corps, 0311 infantry rifleman.
And what period of time were you in the Marine Corps?
2011 to 2015.
Did you serve any tours of duty abroad?
No combat, no, sir.
Are you familiar with a man by the name of Ryan Balch?
Yes, sir.
How are you familiar with him?
I met him after I got out of the Marine Corps.
How long have you been friends with Mr. Balch?
Since about 2015, 2016.
This trial is about events that occurred on the night of August 25th, 2020. Were you here in Kenosha that evening?
Yes.
What time did you arrive?
I believe around 10:45.
Why did you come to Kenosha that night?
Just to help out.
Can you tell us more about that?
I saw the community in trouble and I wanted to come help any way that I could.
I know you said you saw things yourself. I assume that's on the internet?
Correct.
Did you speak with Mr. Balch or anyone else about your desire to come to Kenosha?
Yes.
Can you tell us about what the plan was?
To come down and help any way we could. It was to protect local property.
How were you planning on doing that?
Just to make sure nobody would come and harm the property that we were supposed to protect.
And how exactly, what methods were you going to use to accomplish that goal?
Shouting.
Anything
if
else?
need be. I was trained in the shout, shove, show, shoot.
What does that mean?
You shout, you shove, you show your firearm, and you shoot.
Did you have a firearm that night?
Yes, sir.
What kind of weapon did you have?
An AR-15.
And that is a semi-automatic rifle?
Correct.
Was it armed?
Correct.
Or was it loaded?
Yes.
How many rounds did you bring with you?
I don't recall.
What was the capacity of the magazine in the weapon you were wielding that night?
30.
Was it fully loaded?
Correct. No. 28.
So before coming down that night to Kenosha at around 10:45 p.m., did you have conversations with Mr. Balch about what exactly, specifically, you were going to be doing?
No. Just that I was supposed to come down and link up with him.
So tell us what you did when you came down to Kenosha.
When I came down, I linked up with Ryan. He brought me around to our area of occupation, which is where we were just supposed to protect. He introduced me to everybody that was there. I couldn't really tell you most of their names because it was just in one ear out the other. And then I took my post and that was it.
Where was your post?
It was on the southwest corner of that car lot I was on.
And when you say that car lot, can you tell us what car lot you're referring to?
I don't recall what the name of it was.
Do you remember where it was located?
I think somewhere on Sheridan. I don't know the actual intersection.
There's a map behind you on the wall there, and I don't know if you are able to identify the area of Kenosha that's shown on there, but I will represent to you, Mr. Lackowski, that this is a map that shows the area of Kenosha from about 58th Street and Sheridan on the north end down to 63rd and Sheridan on the south end. And there are 3 properties on there that are labeled Car Source. Are you familiar with the name Car Source?
No, I am not.
I'm going to represent to you, Mr. Lackowski, that we have videos and photos that show you at the Car Source location, which is at 59th and Sheridan, and I'm going to use this laser pointer to point to that location. Do you see where I'm pointing?
Yes.
That's my representation to you. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
That is the car source, the car lot that where your post was?
Yes.
Okay. Do you recall guarding any other properties that night?
There was the property that was a few blocks south, or north, sorry. South.
There is another car source that I'm going to point out, which is at the intersection of 63rd and Sheridan. Do you see where I'm pointing?
Yes, sir.
Is that the other property you're referring to?
Yes.
Did you go down to that 63rd Street location and guard it at any point during that evening?
I walked down there first to see what it was, walked back on up to physically guard it. No, I was not down there.
Do you know what, if any, plan or understanding or anything like that there was between the folks that you were with to guard that other car source location at 63rd?
No, sir.
Is it fair to say that up until the time of the shootings, which we will get to in a moment, you, after visiting the 63rd Street location, came back and stayed at that 59th Street location?
Yes, sir.
Tell us about your experience at that 59th Street location.
For the first little bit of me being there, it was pretty boring, just milling about, doing whatever. And then once the police started to push the protesters toward us, that's when things got a little chaotic. Everybody was screaming, running back toward us. There were a few people that were attempting to come into the car lot. I had yelled at them to stop, and they went about their way. At one point, I know that there was an individual that I believe hurt her ankle, and then Kyle had helped her. There, for the most part, once that happened, there was a lot of actually polite conversations between myself and a lot of the protesters and everything like that. And at that point, that's really all that happened.
I want to try and break that down a little bit. You said that there came a time in which the police pushed the protesters south past you.
Correct.
Do you remember approximately what time that was?
I do not know.
And you indicated it started to get, I think you said chaotic was the
Correct.
word? What made it chaotic? Can you describe that more specifically?
The way that I see it is that you had the actual protesters and you had the a-holes that were trying to use the protest as their own gain.
You're in court.
I'm sorry. I apologize, Your Honor.
There were protesters and then there were other people that were using this for what purpose in your mind?
To cause havoc.
Tell us more about the chaos that you observed.
Because I had talked to a lot of individuals that were there to legitimately protest, and some of them were saying how there were people that were instigating a lot of things, that they weren't part of what was going on. And I had noticed that a lot, that there were people that were using that to, cause havoc.
What specific types of havoc did you witness?
People throwing things at police, people starting fires, people with malintent.
Other than throwing things at police and starting fires, did you observe any other specific instances of, to use your word, havoc?
There were some individuals that were to the west of us that were trying to come onto the property to start one of the cars on fire, and we had stopped them. And then they had a lot of vulgar, They had a lot to say that was not nice. And they had said that they were going to come back and burn down this explicit terms. And then later on, maybe 5-10 minutes later, they started throwing rocks at us.
Do you know who any of those people were? There's been some testimony in this case about someone who has been identified as Joseph Rosenbaum. As you sit here today, do you know who we're talking about?
Yes, sir.
On that night, and again, I'm going to ask you to try and put yourself back in the frame of mind that you were in that night and try and ignore anything you might have learned since then. At that time, that night on August 25th, when you were at the 59th Street car source, did you have any idea who Joseph Rosenbaum was?
No, sir.
The folks that you just mentioned that attempted to start a car on fire, was Joseph Rosenbaum one of those people?
No, sir.
So I'm going to come back to Mr. Rosenbaum, but let's continue talking about specific examples of, to use your word, havoc. I think you've mentioned that incident, throwing rocks at the police. Were there any other examples of things that you observed around that time period?
Individuals were throwing what you would call chlorine bombs at us and the police.
Did you see who any of those people were?
I did not see you through that, no.
Was Mr. Rosenbaum any one of those people?
Not that I know of, no.
Any other examples that you can share with us of this havoc or chaos that you witnessed?
No, sir.
You mentioned someone had something with her, was it a sprained ankle or
I
something?
believe it was a sprained ankle because she was limping.
Okay. And you indicated that you referred to Kyle. You're referring to the defendant, Kyle Rittenhouse?
Correct.
And for the record, can you point him out for us, please? Okay, that's the individual at the table with the, sitting next to Attorney Chirafisi?
Yes, sir.
No dispute. Did you observe what the defendant did to treat that person?
No, I did not.
I think you mentioned that when the crowd was being pushed back, there was some words exchanged between your group and the crowd. Is that fair to say?
Correct.
Can you tell us more about that?
They were just screaming nonsense. And they were I know that there was a few individuals that attempted to come to the car lot, and we yelled at them to back off. And they did.
The individuals that were attempting to start that car on fire, how did you stop them from doing that?
Yell at them.
You used, I think, what was it? Shout, shove, show, and shoot.
Correct.
Did you ever have to get to the second step?
No.
Shouting was enough?
Correct.
Did you ever have any problems with people coming on to the car source lot?
No.
You were
Outside
able
of that one incident, no.
Okay. And I think you said earlier your post was physically located on that lot. Did you say the southwest corner of the lot?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to use...
East. Sorry, southeast. Sorry.
Okay. I want to make that clear. I'm going to use the pointer here as best I can. And would you agree with me that this, where I'm pointing, is the southeast corner of that lot?
The other corner. I'm sorry, my directions are a little off.
That's why I wanted to ask. The top, just for your benefit, the top of this map is north.
Yes.
So would you say then that you were in the northeast corner of the lot?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. While you were observing the crowd and things going on, do you know personally where the defendant was?
No, I couldn't tell you.
Were you paying close attention to his movements
Whereabouts?
or anything like that?
No, sir.
Did you speak with the defendant when you were at that 59th Street location that night?
Initially, yes.
Do you remember anything that he said?
He introduced himself, that his name. He said that he was an EMT.
What did you think about that?
I think he's just an EMT out here to help, just like we were.
Did he tell you how old he was?
No,
How old did you think he was?
I assumed he was 18.
Why did you assume that?
Because in the state of Wisconsin, you have to be 18, I believe, in order to have your EMT license. And he was carrying a firearm.
Was one of the reasons that you assumed he was 18 the fact that he was carrying a firearm?
Correct.
Why is that?
The what he's testified to is his understanding of the law. It's not to be taken as a statement about what the law is. It's a statement of what the witness believes the law to be. So your objection is overruled.
Do you remember the question?
Of why I assumed he was 18.
What did the gun have to do with it? The fact that he's possessing a gun, why did that make you think he was 18?
Because you have to be 18 in order to buy a firearm, a long gun in Wisconsin.
Did there come a time while you were at the 59th Street car source where you observed an individual that you now know to be Joseph Rosenbaum?
Yes.
How many times that night did you observe that person?
Just the one incident.
Can you tell us what you observed?
He had been, acting very belligerently. Like, he had asked very bluntly to shoot him. He did a few what I would call false stepping, which is making a step to entice somebody to do something. He had done that a few times. After he'd done that a few times, I turned my back to him and ignored him.
What did you think of him?
A babbling idiot.
Did you consider him a threat?
No.
Did you feel that he posed any danger to you or anyone else?
No.
How tall are you?
I am 5'10".
Do you have an estimate as to how tall Mr. Rosenbaum was?
Not really. He was bent over.
How was he dressed at that time, if you recall?
He had something red over his face, no shirt, and he had a bag in his hand.
A plastic bag?
Yes.
Were you able to get a look at that bag?
No.
You said that he was asking someone to shoot him?
Correct.
Was he saying that to you?
He said that to me, and he said that, I believe, to multiple others.
Something along the lines of, shoot me, shoot me. Would that be fair to say?
There was more explicit terms after that, yes, but yes.
Did you see him with any sort of weapon?
Outside of that bag, no.
Did you see him with a gun?
No.
Did you see him with a knife?
No.
Did you see him with a club or a bat of any kind?
No.
Did you see him with a chain?
No.
You indicated that he was false stepping. Would you mind standing up on the main floor here and physically demonstrate for us what you're talking about? Yes, please. For the record, if you allow me, I'll go ahead and see it. I'm going to try and describe what you just demonstrated for us physically so we've got a good record here. You're standing still and then sort of taking 1 foot, maybe 2 to 3 feet ahead, stepping forward with that foot and sort of almost pushing your chest out towards that other person and then withdrawing that same foot again and repeating that a couple of times. Would that be a fair description of what
Yes.
you just did? When you said that this individual was doing that, was he doing it towards you?
In my general direction.
Was there anyone else around you that he was doing that to also?
There was an individual to my right and to my left. I don't recall who they were.
Do you know if those were other individuals that were guarding that car source location?
They were, yes.
Do you know if any of them was the defendant?
I don't recall.
At the time that you had this interaction with Mr. Rosenbaum, were you armed?
Yes.
Can you tell us how you were armed?
I had my weapon slung and pointed to the ground.
When you say your weapon, you mean your AR-15?
Correct.
Was there a sling around your body that the weapon was attached to?
Yes.
And when you say the gun was pointed to the ground, was that in such a way where the butt was maybe at the middle of your chest and then
You'd be facing like this.
at an angle?
Correct.
Okay. So the butt is sort of at an angle towards one of your shoulders and the barrel is downward at maybe a 45-degree angle or thereabouts?
Yes.
Did you have any other weapons other than that AR-15 that night?
I had my knife.
Anything else?
I had a CS gas canister.
What is a CS gas canister?
It is a deterrent. It's like pepper spray, but a lot more potent.
Is that also commonly referred to as tear gas?
Yes.
Or is there a technical difference between
There's
the
a technical difference, but for the records, yes, tear gas.
two? Where did you physically have that canister located on your body?
In my dump pouch.
Did you say dump?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a pouch that you put on your opposite side to put empty magazines in.
Was there ever a time in which you pulled that canister out to use it?
When the protesters had started pushed my way and started causing a ruckus, I had put it on a car in front of me because I needed to use it.
You put it in a place where you could get at it if you needed it. After you put it on that car, did you ever grab a hold of it with the intent of getting it ready to be
I'm
used?
pretty sure it fell off the car.
Where did that CS gas canister come from?
An individual, I think his name's Dustin. I don't recall his actual name. It starts with a D.
Is that one of the other individuals that was there at that location?
Yes.
So you had the AR-15, the knife, and the CS gas canister. Is
Yes.
that right?
Yes.
Did you have any other weapons on you?
No.
I know we've talked a little bit about the false stepping that Mr. Rosenbaum was doing, and you said there were two other individuals, one on either side of you. Is that right?
Yes.
Are you able to tell us if Mr. Rosenbaum was doing this directly at any one of the
It
three
was
of
just
you?
in our general direction.
How far away was he from you when that was going on?
I want to say a max of 6 feet.
Did he ever touch you?
No.
Did he ever threaten to harm you?
Outside of his banter, no.
When you say his banter, what specifically in his banter did you construe as a threat to harm you?
I really didn't see him as a threat at all, to be honest with you. But it would be his false stepping and his banter saying, shoot me, explicit term.
Did you interpret him saying, shoot me, as a threat to you?
No.
Did you interpret it as a threat to anyone else?
No.
How long did Mr. Rosenbaum continue this behavior before you turned your back on him and walked away?
I'm not sure, but it wasn't very long. He had done it maybe 1 or 2 times, and I just ignored it.
Do you recall putting out any fires that night?
Multiple, yes.
Can you tell us about that?
The first one I put out, it was just north of the car lot. Somebody had set up a deliberate barrier and set what you'd call like a campfire behind it and set it on fire to deliberately set fire to the barrier.
I want to make sure I understand that. You said they set up a small barrier.
It was a rather large barrier. It was taller than I was. It was a wooden structure.
Do you know what type of wooden structure it was?
It was just a rickety structure. I don't recall.
Do you know where it came from?
No.
Did you see any of the individuals who started the fire?
No.
Do you recall where that was located in relation to the 59th Street car source lot?
That was just in front of the church, or the demolished church.
There's actually a little laser pointer in front of you. There's a button on the side, and when you point that, could you use that and point on the map where that fire was?
Right there.
And I just want to narrate for the record, that appears to be a location, was that on Sheridan Road?
Yes.
North of 59th, closer to 58th Street. Would that be fair to say?
Yes.
What did you do in response to that fire?
I stomped it out.
With your feet?
Yes.
Did you use any sort of fire extinguisher or water?
No.
What happened after you did that?
After that, I had walked back to the car lot.
You mentioned there were other fires you put out?
Yes.
Tell us about those.
There was a few after the incident. There was one on the this car lot. There was a pickup truck that the interior was on fire. Then I had found a fire extinguisher next to it. I had put that one out. And then there was another one that I couldn't put out because the fire extinguisher was spent. So there was cars around it. It was myself and another individual. I pushed cars away from that.
I believe you said that was those two fires were after the incident.
Yes.
What incident are you referring to?
The incident with, I don't want to, the incident with Kyle.
The shootings.
Yes.
I want to try and keep this in chronological order as best we can. So if we can just go back for a minute to the 59th Street car source. While you were at that location, other than the barrier in the street that you've described, did you put out any other fires around that area?
No.
Do you remember a time in which there was a dumpster on fire out in the street?
I don't recall, no.
And I believe you said other than the one interaction with the false stepping, you didn't have any observations or contact with Mr. Rosenbaum at any other time that night.
Correct.
We've heard a lot of testimony and seen videos of what we now know to be the shootings. And I think everybody's got a good idea now with hindsight of the sequence of those events. But what I want to ask you is, on that particular night, do you remember hearing or observing those shootings?
I remember hearing gunfire, yes.
Where were you located when you heard that?
At the car lot on 59th and Sheridan.
The original one that we've been talking
Yes.
about? From what direction did you hear those shots coming
From
from?
the south.
What did you do, if anything?
Ran toward them.
That would be running, and I'm going to use the pointer here, that would be running in a direction from the car source at 59th and Sheridan, south on Sheridan Road?
Correct.
Do you remember encountering a line of armored police vehicles?
I don't recall.
Tell us what you remember. When you heard those gunshots and started running, tell us what you remember about that.
There was myself and another individual, I believe his name is Dustin. I don't remember his actual name. Him and I ran down there. Once I got down there, I was by myself. I don't know where he went. And then I got to the corner of the lot, which there's an alleyway there, and then the lot, there's a fence line. And then from there, Mr. Rittenhouse came up to me. He had said, I don't remember exactly what he had said, but he had said something to me. And then I had told him to run toward the police, which he did. I had followed him a little ways, but then there was gunfire behind me. So I turned around to attempt to assess that. And then once again, there was gunfire behind me. And at that point, that is when, I'm pretty sure I blacked out. I don't remember anything after that.
You said you're pretty sure you blacked out?
Yes, because I don't remember anything. The next thing I remember is helping out with Gage.
I want to try and break that down if we can. You indicated that at some point as you were running south on Sheridan, you encountered the defendant.
Yes.
Are you able to show us on that map where that encounter occurred?
About right there.
And you've pointed to a location which is on the west side of Sheridan Road. It appears to be right at the boundary between that 63rd Street car source and the property that is located just to the north of that on the
Yes.
west. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Okay. How did the defendant appear to you?
Frazzled. In shock.
Did he have his weapon?
Yes.
Where do you know where he came from?
He had ran from the car lot.
Were you still running at that point?
At that point, when I linked up with him, I stopped.
When you stopped, did you come in close proximity with the defendant?
Yes.
Did you say anything to him, if you recall?
I don't recall.
And I think you indicated earlier you don't remember what he said to you.
I do not.
Now, do you remember after this night speaking with the FBI?
Yes.
And that conversation occurred about a week later?
Yes.
And do you remember telling them what the defendant had said to you?
I remember telling them yes.
If I showed you a copy of that statement, would that refresh your recollection?
Yes.
May I approach, Your Honor? Mr. Lukowski, I'm going to hand you the statement, and there's a portion here that is marked, and I would like you to take a look at that. Take as much time as you need, and when you're done looking at it, please look up.
Okay.
I'm going to take that back from you now. Does that refresh your memory as to what you told the FBI?
Yes.
And does it refresh your memory as to what the defendant said to you when you encountered him?
He had indicated that he had shot somebody.
According to your statement, Mr. Lukowski, you're
Sorry, did not shoot anybody. I apologize.
Okay.
I apologize.
just want to make that clear.
Did not shoot anybody.
When the defendant spoke to you, he said he didn't shoot anyone,
Correct.
but he said he needed help.
Yes.
What did you tell him? if
I told
anything?
him to run to the police that were down the road.
What did you do then?
At that point, he started running. I followed him.
Let me pause for a second, and I just want to make sure we get our directions correct. What direction did the defendant run from there?
From here that way. So north.
North on Sheridan. And did you run in that same direction?
Yes.
What happened then?
And then there was gunshots behind me.
And when you say behind you, are you meaning back down south?
Yes.
What did you do then?
I stopped and turned around.
Where did you go?
I was in place because it felt like seconds after there was more gunshots behind me, which would have been to the north.
And that would have been the direction that the defendant had been running.
Yes.
Is that the moment in time when you feel like you kind of blacked out?
Yes.
And I think you said the next thing you remember is Mr. Grosskreutz?
Yes.
Tell us about that.
I remember being on the sidewalk, and then there was an individual on the ground screaming. I had walked up to them with a group of individuals. Somebody was screaming for a tourniquet, I believe. So I had given an individual, I believe his name is CJ, I don't actually know if that's his name. I had given that to him. He had applied the tourniquet. He had done it wrong. So I had pushed him out of the way, applied it correctly for the most part, and I stayed with Gage until police showed up.
What happened then?
And then the police showed up, told me to back off. I backed off. Once he was in the vehicle, I had noticed an individual saying that there was a gun on the ground. He had pointed to it and started walking toward it. I pushed him out of the way. I had picked up said firearm. I dropped the magazine and emptied the chamber.
I want to make sure the record is clear. You said someone was put inside a vehicle. The he is Gage. Gage Grosskreutz?
Yes.
And then there was you said a gun on the ground.
Yes.
What type of gun was it?
It was a Glock.
A pistol?
Yes.
After you took care of neutralizing or disarming the gun, what did you do next?
The police had come up to me and told me to put it down, and then I had walked toward the sidewalk, and then I believe I had headed south toward the car lot.
What happened then?
There was a bunch of reporters, I guess, over there talking to people, and wait, no. I don't recall. I don't want to mix up my story.
Understood. You mentioned that you dealt with a fire in a truck
Yes.
at the car source location?
Yes.
And found a fire extinguisher?
Yes.
Are you able to show us on the map where that occurred?
Yes. About right there.
You are pointing to a location that is on the 63rd Street car source lot near the northeast corner of that lot. Would that be fair to say?
Yes.
Where did you find the fire extinguisher?
Laying right next to the truck.
And the fire, you said, was inside the truck?
Yes.
Inside the passenger compartment?
Yes.
What did you do after putting that fire out, if you recall?
I put that fire out. There was another fire that was just on the opposite side of the building. There was a car on fire, and then the fire extinguisher was spent, so I couldn't use that. But there were cars around it, so it was myself and another individual. I don't recall who that individual was. Had pushed, I believe, 2 vehicles away from it, so it didn't catch fire on those.
In the sequence of events that you've just described, beginning with hearing the gunshots when you were at 59th Street all the way down to where we just left off, did you encounter Ryan Balch at any time?
Yes.
Do you remember when and where that was?
No. But I know that I did encounter with him.
Do you remember when you were at the car source lot at 63rd Street being with Mr. Balch?
When I was putting out the fires, no.
After that, at that location?
After that, yes.
You mentioned some reporters down at the 63rd Street car source. Did you speak with them?
I avoided them as much as I could.
But is it fair to say that there were a number of them around you with cameras
Yes.
asking pictures, or asking questions rather?
Yes.
And they were also asking questions of Mr. Balch.
Correct.
During that process, did anyone show you an image or a video of the person who was suspected to have committed these shootings?
No, because they thought it was me.
Those people thought it was you?
Yes.
When did you first learn that it was the defendant?
I don't recall.
Was there a time when you were speaking with those reporters that you learned that the person who was suspected to have done these shootings was the defendant, Kyle Rittenhouse?
Yes.
Is it fair to say that those reporters were asking you who that person was?
They were asking me if I was the one that had done it, because they were looking for a tall white individual with an AR-15 wearing a green shirt. And that's what I was wearing.
There were also people that were saying that the shooter was with your group.
Yes.
At that time, when they were saying that to you, you knew that was true, correct?
Yes.
Is it fair to say that you didn't volunteer that information at that time?
I did not.
Were there police cars nearby at that moment in time?
I believe there was a police blockade on the west side of, I think, 63rd Street.
Did you ever approach any of the police that night and tell them what you knew?
No.
After dealing with the things that you dealt with at 63rd Street car source, where did you go?
We had gotten, Brian and myself had gotten into my truck, and we drove toward the other car lot to pick up a firearm and I believe a cell phone that was inside the building.
Whose property was that?
That was
No, I mean the
Cars.
cell phone and the gun. Who did those belong to?
Ryan.
What happened when you got to the 59th Street car source?
It was locked and there was nobody there.
The prosecutor wants to ask him on a date so bad.
Mr. Lukowski, I want to go back to the beginning of your night. You indicated that you arrived at that location around 10:45 p.m. and we talked a little bit about your interactions with the defendant. Did you bring along any medical supplies with you that night?
I did,
Why did you do that?
just in case it was needed.
I didn't hear you.
Just in case it was needed.
Did you interact with the defendant with regard to those medical supplies?
Yes.
Tell us about that.
He had said he was an EMT. I said that if he needed anything to let me know, and then he had asked, I don't remember exactly what he said, but he had said something, and then I remember giving him my flashlight, turning around, and him digging through my med bag.
I'm not sure I heard that word. You said digging through your
Digging through my med bag, yeah.
Was that the defendant doing that?
Yes.
Did he take any medical supplies from you?
I don't recall what he actually took. But yes, he did take some medical supplies from my bag.
Do you remember speaking to the FBI about those medical supplies?
Yes.
If I showed you a copy of your statement, would it refresh your memory as to what the supplies were?
Yes.
May I approach you? Mr. Lukowski, I'm going to show you your statement. At the bottom of the first page, there's some items marked. Please look those over, and when you're done, look up. And it may continue on to the next page.
Okay.
I'm going to take that back. Did that refresh your memory as to the medical supplies that the defendant borrowed from you?
Yes.
What were those specific items?
A quick clot, a bandage, and what you'd call a vitamin pack, which has a bunch of random stuff in it.
What is quick clot?
It is something that you use to stop bleeding, severe bleeding.
Quick clot. Were you aware at that time what sort of medical supplies, if any, the defendant already had on him?
I was not aware, no.
One second, please.
Big shout out to everyone that's been subscribing. My subscriber list is like jumping the whole time we've been live. So big shout out to all of you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning.
Is it fair to say that prior to August 25th, you had never laid eyes on Kyle Rittenhouse?
Correct.
Okay. After August 25th, have you ever spoken to Kyle Rittenhouse?
No.
So you didn't know who he was when you got there, and you haven't talked to him since.
Correct.
And you had made mention when speaking to Attorney Binger about shout, shove, show, shoot, right?
Yes.
Okay. In anywhere in that kind of commands that you do, is run away or retreat? Is that in there?
No.
So if you shout at someone and make physical contact or show them your firearm and they're still coming forward, have you ever been trained to
No.
head for the hills?
No.
Run away from them?
No.
Try to get yourself out of the situation that you're in?
No.
You watched the video. Have you watched the videos in this case?
I have watched several, yes.
Okay. Have you watched the video at Car Source at 63rd?
Not in its entirety, no.
Okay. So have you or have you not seen what Mr. Rittenhouse did prior to the shooting?
I don't know what you mean by that.
Well, you saw Mr. Rosenbaum. Did you see Mr. Rosenbaum and Mr. Rittenhouse running through the parking lot?
Not that I recall, no.
Okay. So you arrive at 59th Street Car Source, 10:45-ish,
Around, yes.
and you have an AR-15 and a medical pack with you?
Correct.
Okay. Same kind of situation that when you meet Mr. Rittenhouse that he has, right? He has an AR-15.
To a sense, yes.
You have more than he has, but you both are carrying a medical pack.
Yes.
And he goes through some of your things, your medical things, and takes things that he needs.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yep. And you see him that night,
Correct.
and he is, when you speak to him, you get his name and the EMT information.
Correct.
Is that about it?
Yes.
You see him that night out and about trying to actually help people.
Correct.
Do you see him that night threaten anyone?
No.
Do you see him being aggressive in any manner toward anyone?
No.
You, I'm gonna ask if you can take a peek at exhibit number 40. Can you tell me, do you know who that is a picture of?
Joseph Rosenbaum.
Now, do you remember seeing him that evening, the 25th?
Yes.
Okay. You didn't know his name,
No.
but was his behavior such that that made you remember him?
Yes.
All right. So can you?
The guy in the background's having a good time.
Is that enough?
You ever seen such a big smile at a riot?
But it's not showing anything, it's showing
Y'all are killing me about the blacked out stuff. I don't know if he should have said that. I don't know if that helped anything.
You said you see Mr. Rosenbaum in that picture, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Looking like a drunk hobo, clear gray sky, you're killing me.
Rosenbaum as well. Is that right?
Yes.
We agree that's Joseph Simmons. Oh, yes. Joshua Simmons. I'm sorry, Joshua Simmons. Do you recognize or do you remember seeing the person behind Mr. Rosenbaum?
No.
You don't remember seeing Mr. Zeminski? Okay. Now, you had said that Mr. Rosenbaum was yelling at people.
Yes.
Okay. And he's yelling in a crowd of people, right? We're talking about the Ultimate gas station.
No.
You remember seeing him at the Ultimate gas station or not?
No.
So where did you see him in particular?
I saw him on the corner of 59th and Sheridan.
And when he was on, tell me if this is fair, when he's on the corner of 59th and Sheridan, he is yelling, "Shoot me," and then he uses the N-word.
Yes.
So he's saying, "Shoot me, N-word, shoot me, N-word."
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And to set the backdrop here, he's saying this at a protest for an African-American man who was shot by the police.
Correct.
And while he's saying, "Shoot me, N-word," do you remember people behind yelling or chanting, "Black Lives Matter"?
I don't recall.
Do you remember that night hearing people saying, "Black
Yeah.
Lives Matter"?
Yes.
Okay. Are people reacting to him?
In a negative
Hold on.
manner.
Are they reacting to him when he's screaming the N-word at a Jacob Blake protest?
In a negative manner, yes.
Okay.
I didn't hear you in a what manner?
In a negative.
Okay.
In a negative manner, yes.
How?
Stepping away from him.
Okay, so they're separate, if I have it right. They're trying to disassociate themselves with the guy screaming racial epithets at a Black Lives Matter rally.
Yes.
And you had said that he is, now I'll ask you this. At 59th Street, are there other people around?
Yes.
So it's not a situation, you had said that you didn't feel threatened.
Correct.
It wasn't a situation, though, where you were one-on-one with Mr. Rosenbaum, was it?
It was not correct.
Okay, so there's other people, are there other people that are protecting the business there as well?
Yes.
Okay, so you have support, for lack of a better term.
Yes.
And you had said that, let me ask you this. You said you didn't view him as a threat. Would that have changed at all if you were alone with him?
No.
You didn't view him as a threat?
Not at all.
Did he ever threaten to kill you?
No.
Did he ever say to you, "If I get you alone, you're dead"?
No.
You said that he was false stepping towards you, right?
Yes.
Okay. Did he ever do more than that? Did he ever come actually after you?
No.
If he would have done that, would have made you more concerned?
Situation dictates.
Okay. Well, if I'm full stepping on you, okay, would you be more concerned instead of me full stepping if I'm coming full speed right at you?
Yes.
Fair, right? I mean,
Yes.
I'm then in your personal space, and you have a gun too, right?
Yes.
So one of the things I could do is take that gun from you.
Yes.
Try to.
Yes.
And if I threatened to kill you if I saw you that night, and then I'm running full speed at you and I'm going for your gun, are those all things you would have considered when making a decision what to do against somebody like me?
A threat to my life, yes.
Adam, I can't do anything about the volume. It's not on my end.
You had
The,
mentioned,
the guy's not speaking into the mic.
that people were throwing chlorine gas bombs? Is that
Yes.
correct? Okay. I don't know if we've ever actually established what one of those is. It's a homemade device.
Yes.
Okay. And can you tell me what you saw that night in terms of these homemade gas bombs?
A water bottle with substance in it. You shake it up, throw it, and then it gets to a point where it explodes. Because of the chemical reaction.
Okay, and then does it release some form of gas?
Yes.
And were you guys on 59th Street getting hit with those?
Yes.
And you were also getting hit with, now you say rocks. There's been testimony that people were taking chunks of concrete or cement, breaking them on the ground and throwing those.
Yes.
Is that fair?
Yes.
Okay, so I know rocks come in different shapes and sizes, but we're talking about chunks of concrete, yes?
Yes, sir.
All right. And I think you had mentioned in your statement to the FBI that Mr. Rosenbaum was one of the most aggressive people that you had encountered that night.
Yes.
And is that true?
Yes.
That has stood the test of time in terms
Yes.
of your recollections? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. There was some conversation that you had with Attorney Binger about your interaction with Kyle on on Sheridan Road as he's running north.
Yes.
He never stops running, correct?
He stopped running to talk to me.
For how long?
I couldn't tell you the time span.
Okay, well, I want to see if we can do this. Is it minutes?
It seemed like seconds.
Okay. If you know, are there people behind him running after him?
I don't recall.
Okay. Did you hear anything of people yelling?
At one point, somebody did shout, "Get him."
All right. So I'm going to show you if I can, and it only works on this video, so Judge, do you mind if he steps?
Go ahead.
If you can, well, if we can do it. Yeah, I might. All right, perfect.
XRP, I don't think this guy, this witness, was recording. He honestly sounds like he doesn't know what he was doing half the time.
Yeah, it says out of order.
This attorney is so much more assertive than the prosecutor.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm surprised the prosecutor can even look him in the face.
So, Judge, I have
RJ, yes, I do have a crypto wallet. If you send me an email, I'll send you the wallet number.
objection from the state to move it into evidence.
May I see it?
Yeah, this is just the front page of this is is all I have. We're going to move the video eventually, but this is the...
It's the identifying
Yeah.
document for the video. Go ahead. Received.
Slightly forward here, or?
No, you can...
No. Well, okay, it's your the defendant cannot currently see the screen. Oh, it's up now. I'm sorry. I'll stay out of it.
Just as a reminder, I cannot show death,
Okay.
medical procedures, or pews on the screen. So if I black screen it, it's not because I'm an idiot that doesn't know how to control what I'm doing. It's because I'm trying to preserve my channel. They will delete me over it because of the community guidelines on YouTube.
Take screenshots. That dude shot him. That nigga just shot that dude. Cranium that boy. He just shot a man.
Are you in this video? Can you tell?
I can't tell.
Are you, from your recollection, are you walking south on Sheridan Road at that time?
Yes.
Okay. So, is this about the location where you made contact with Mr. Rittenhouse, if you remember?
Approximately, yes.
Okay. Can you play the video? Is that you right there, Mr. Rittenhouse?
Yes.
Okay, so you have a brief conversation with Mr. Rittenhouse, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, can you play it for one more second? Okay, and I'm not being critical. You keep walking then north on Sheridan?
Yes.
Okay. And you heard on the tape things like people saying, cranium that boy, right? Cranium, like your head? Cranium that boy.
On the tape, yes.
Do you recall hearing that evening?
No.
Okay. Now, you had told the FBI that Mr. Rittenhouse said to you, I didn't shoot anybody, but I need help.
Yes.
Now, you'd agree, well, tell me if you'd agree. The statement that makes more sense is, I did shoot somebody and I need help. Right? Why would he need help if he didn't shoot someone? Right?
Yes.
Okay. So, again, I'm not being critical. How certain are you that in fact he didn't say, I did shoot someone and I need help, versus I didn't shoot someone, but I need help?
I don't honestly recall.
Okay. Are you after Mr. Rittenhouse leaves you and is running north on Sheridan Road, do you hear or see, if you recall, any of the people that are yelling at him and running toward him? Do you remember seeing and hearing that?
Yes, there was some individuals running toward him. At least they were running to the north.
Do you remember hearing them talking or yelling at him or not?
Outside of individuals saying, get him, no.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Outside of an individual saying, get him, no.
Okay, so you at least heard one person yell, get him.
Yes.
And is it at that point then that you kind of, I think you told Mr. Binger, at that point you had kind of blacked out?
Yes.
Okay, and can you tell us what that means to you?
It's when you just go through the motions. I guess it's when your body just goes through the motions, and you're kind of like the lights on, nobody's home, kind of deal. It's when your body hits to a certain point of stress to where it just goes through the motions.
Okay, so in high stressful situations, your recollection of events for you becomes difficult.
Yes.
At least in this situation.
In this scenario, yes.
And you you make, or then what you recall is making contact with Gage Grosskreutz.
Yes.
Okay. Give me that photo. I'm sorry? Yes. Now, do you remember where you made contact with him? Are you on Sheridan Road?
Yes.
Okay. Do you remember the location? If you look at the map, does that help you? So this is 63rd, and that's 59th, up next from St. James Church. Do you remember where you are?
Oh, just before the intersection.
Okay. And that's a picture of Mr. Grosskreutz, right?
Yes.
Okay. And in that picture, he's holding a black pistol.
Yes.
Does that appear to be, or look, I can't say does it appear to look like the pistol that you located on the ground?
Yes.
All right. That pistol that you located on the ground, you had said I think I'm going to use your term. You don't
I don't know if I'm gonna get away with that or not.
I had dropped the magazine and cleared the chamber. Yes.
drop. So the magazine is the, for lack of a better term, if we see TV or whatever, it's the thing that goes into the grip of the gun that's holding bullets, right?
Correct.
Okay. And there was a magazine with bullets in there,
Correct.
and then you said you cleared the chamber. What
Correct.
Does that mean?
It's when you take the top of the slide and rack it back.
Okay, so like you'll see on television or whatever, they pull it back and then the bullet can fly out.
Correct.
Does there have to be a bullet in the chamber to fire the gun?
Yes.
Was there a bullet in that chamber?
Yes.
So, in your training and experience with firearms, was that gun ready to be fired?
Yes.
So, in the past with some witnesses, Mr. Binger has asked them if they had shot anyone that night. And what I want to do is just ask you a couple questions about you that night, okay? Fair to say, no one verbally threatened to kill you, did they?
Not that I recall, no.
No one actually chased you, did they?
Not that I recall, no.
Did anybody ever say to you, forgive me, you won't do shit, motherfucker?
No.
No one ever said that
No.
to you? Did anybody ever, well, were you alone at various times that evening?
Yes.
Okay. And you have military training?
Yes.
Okay. Did you ever feel there was a situation where somebody had kind of snuck up on you or ambushed you that night?
No.
Is it fair to say the reason that you didn't use your firearm that night is nobody had attacked you that night, right?
There's no need for it.
Now, after the shooting, you had said that you put out a truck that was on fire by Car Source.
Yes.
We call it Car Source 3, but it's Car Source on 63rd.
Yes.
And that, by happenstance, there was a fire extinguisher located close to that?
Yes.
Did you ever see Kyle walking back toward the police line on 60 or on 59th or 60th here? Did you ever see him walking back this direction after you had contact with him down here?
No.
Okay, so you don't know what happened after that?
No.
All right. So I got about 20 minutes or so until I got to cut this off. I got to go to my tattoo appointment. But I put a Kyle Child tab on the Discord for all of you beautiful hooligans in the Discord. Please find the videos that I can't show and post them in that tab for the audience to see, because I have to block it out because of YouTube.
You had said that you had witnessed people pushing a dumpster, a lit dumpster in the road. Is that right?
I did not know.
You did not see that?
No.
Okay. ever at the Ultimate gas station then?
I walked past it, talked to some individuals there, and then just kept on my merry way.
Okay, so the contact, when you heard Mr. Rittenhouse screaming, I'm sorry, Mr. Rosenbaum screaming the racial epithets and saying, "Shoot me," it wasn't at this location,
No.
it was at another location?
Correct.
Okay. So can I ask you this, when you left for the evening, you had driven down there, right?
Correct.
Was your vehicle damaged?
Yes.
How?
I had a smashed back window and a smashed front windscreen.
Sorry, front.
Windscreen or windshield. Yeah.
Okay. So you drove back to wherever you were with a smashed up vehicle?
Yes.
I think I just have one more question.
I wish the attorney would speak into the microphone, or I wish they had like wireless mics on them or something. They don't have to show us how poor they are at orchestrating a computer and their slideshow setup. We're well aware. You guys, I can't stream get my tattoos done. I really wish I could, but it's against the YouTube community guidelines. It's so stupid. It'd be considered a medical procedure because of blood. I'd get a strike because of it if they didn't just delete me altogether. So stupid. YouTube is such a scared crybaby. What you guys can do when I have to wrap this up, if you guys are going to continue watching the trial, which I do suggest you do, especially because then you can update me when I get back. I suggest you go to something like Yahoo Finance or something like that. Find like-minded individuals and encourage them to come back here when I get back. Because when I get back, as long as the trial is still going on, I plan on going live and showing the rest of it. And I've seen lots of scared liberals crying in these chats, saying Kyle's a murderer and all this stuff because they're just scared. They're just scared and crying hard. So you'd be kind of directing the non-scared people to a safe place because we're not afraid of our Second Amendment right. That's just my suggestion. I know BCP is covering it. I think CJ is covering it. You could go to Mikado if you want to, but he's an Antifa live streamer, so that's your choice. Probably a lot of scared people over there. That's just my 2 cents on it.
So, if I can ask you this sort of...
Amy, when I come back, I will show you guys my tattoos. I just can't show getting them because the needles and the blood and stuff, there's a good chance that YouTube would strike me or do something stupid like that.
That's all I have, Judge. Thank you.
How much redirect do you have?
10 minutes.
All right, let's take a break. Please don't talk about please don't talk about the case during the break. Read, watch, or listen to any account of the trial.
All right. Well, I think what we're going to do, because this is so close to when I have to leave, we're going to take advantage of them taking a break right now. We're going to do the Pledge of Allegiance, and then we'll get this wrapped up. Make sure you guys take a second to subscribe and hit the like button right now. And you should really join the Discord. It's the best way to stay up to date with when and where we go live. I also update the Discord throughout my day, so everybody knows what's going on with me. There's lots of like-minded individuals in there to converse with, just like in the chat you're in right now. There's also news constantly posted in the news board, so you can stay up to date with what's going on around you. So you should definitely join the Discord. All right, everyone. Join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, all you beautiful hooligans, I appreciate you guys being here. Let's give some shout outs in. Thank you so much, The Real Zooch, Mercy Rain, Wicked Patriot, Lisa, David, Sunshine Kills. Thank you guys so much for your donations and your support. I really appreciate all of you. I would not be able to do this without you, so thank you guys so much. Big shout out to all the new subscribers. We just went through like a 2-month stale period where YouTube would not allow me to gain subscribers, and at the same time they were unsubscribing my viewers. So they've hopped off my back a little bit, and we're back at 54,000, and I think we gained 100 subscribers yesterday. So big shout out to all of you. I appreciate all of you being here. Welcome to the hooligan chat. Either way, thank you guys so much for being here. We're gonna wrap this up. I will let you guys know how this goes in the Discord every step of the way. I'll let you guys know when I get back to the house. As long as the trial's still on, we will cover it. Maybe I'll go live and we'll just do a hooligan chat just so you can see my new tats and we can all mingle for a little bit. We'll see how it goes. But either way, I'll see you guys in the Discord. Thank you so much for being here. Until the next live, stand tall, shine bright, and that's a wrap.